What is going on, guys and girls? Level Up here at OnPointTactical. This time we are looking at the second assault DLC weapon, the F2000 assault rifle. Now, if you'll remember this weapon in Battlefield 3, early on it was amazing. Before the big nerf, I think it got nerfed once or twice, and it simply just wasn't able to keep up with the M16A3 and the AEK. One of the main reasons it wasn't able to keep up with the M16 and the AEK was its recoil pattern, which has been virtually unchanged from Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4. Now, with that in mind, let's go ahead and pull up a Synthic.com weapon stats chart, and we will see that it has the standard assault rifle damage model, the fire rate 850 rounds per minute, putting it right above the M16A4 and the ACE-23 for damage per second, with a decent muzzle velocity of 600 meters per second, right in there with average. It has a higher than average suppressed muzzle velocity at 380 meters per second. It has a unrealistic bullet drop ratio of 15 meters per second squared, which is just one of those mechanics that DICE put in the game to help balance out different weapons at range. The reload times are not ideal at 2.7 seconds on a short reload and an abysmal 3.9 seconds on a long reload. However, it does have a reload threshold of 0.7, so you basically only have to finish about 70% of your reload animation before you can plop down an ammo bag and cut the animation short and still have ammo ready to go. The recoil pattern that I mentioned before is 0.24 up, 0.4 left, and 0.5 right. In Battlefield 3, it was 0.5 left and 0.4 right, so it was basically identical, but this is also where we run into the snag. It has equal recoil in either direction, which might sound like a good thing, and if you have poor recoil management skills, it is fantastic, because if you can't handle having a weapon pull really hard to the right or really hard to the left, then one that kind of just bounces back and forth in the middle is going to be better for you. And I kind of have that same point of view with the F2000. You only have to manage that up recoil, and you can't really manage the side-to-side recoil too awful much. Now, I haven't thrown the compensator on there or tried it out yet. I will do another recap of the F2000 and let you guys know what I think about the compensator and other attachments once we get the battle pack system to actually function for the F2000. But the primary reason I haven't tried the compensator is because its ADS accuracy, while not moving, is 0.25, so it has a slightly lower than average accuracy while standing and ADSing. However, it has a slightly better than average ADS while moving accuracy, coming in at 0.8, and it also has a better than average hipfire accuracy of 2.25, which actually puts it up there towards the MTAR and weapons like that for hipfire with the vertical grip and the laser sight. So what does all of that actually mean for the performance of the rifle? Well, its hipfire that I mentioned just a second ago is great for those gut reaction moments whenever you just jerk your analog stick or you jerk your mouse to the side and then you just mow a guy down in close quarters. The F2000 is great at that. But it is going to lose out to the FAMAS in extreme close quarters. You're probably going to get a kill trade with the AEK and the F2000 because their time to kill is so similar and the rate of fire is so close that you're probably going to get a lot of kill trades versus AEKs in close quarters. You can't really be upset about that because you lost out to rate of fire, not necessarily skill. However, if you engage your opponent even just a little bit before and you get one shot downrange before they do, then you should be able to beat out even the FAMAS in close quarters because it's all about reaction time and time to kill. You're still going to lose out to 12 gauges, but that's just because noobs love to use them. The Scar H has a higher damage per second, I believe, than even the FAMAS. That's because of its higher damage model, and I'm a little bit confused about why a lot of players really don't like the Scar. And I think a magazine size has a lot to do with it. Well, you can be comforted knowing that the F2000 doesn't suffer from any magazine size penalties like the FAMAS or the Scar H coming in at a standard 30 rounds per magazine. Well, that's great, and the video's title implies that I really like the F2000, and it implies that it was receiving too much hate. And then I turned right around and started nailing down all the things that it's not really good at. I mentioned that it's good at hipfire, and that it's sort of abysmal as far as long reload time and at long range. Here is why I think the F2000 gets way too much hate. It is good at what it does. It is fantastic at what it does, actually, and that is covering the middle ground in between close quarters and medium-long distance. It covers perfectly between long-short distance, short-medium, and even medium-range engagements. It covers that spectrum perfectly, coming in, like I said, just over the Ace-23 for rate of fire and damage per second. As many of you know, the Ace-23 is a pretty good weapon at decently long ranges, and so is the M416. But versus the F2000 within, I would say, 30 meters, you're probably going to lose out the damage per second to the F2000. And as luck would have it, most of the engagements that you're going to run into in Battlefield 4 are right around 30 meters, and most of your firefights, even if they're a little bit beyond that, are going to be ones that are 1v1, and you can sort of move up and then take an advantage on your enemy. That is, unless, of course, you're playing Rush or Conquest Large. If you're playing Rush, then your average engagement distance depends on what map you're playing. You have all sorts of other external factors on Conquest that can decide your range, but for the most part, Conquest is an engineer and recon-heavy game mode. There shouldn't be that many medics running around, except for on maps like Guilin Peaks and Operation Metro, which the F2000 consequently is also very, very good at. The reason I don't think it deserves all of the negativity it gets, like I said, it's very good at what it does, but it's one of those weapons that I think is being judged way too prematurely. We haven't seen it versus all the other assault rifles in the game. It hasn't had time to prove itself. It hasn't had time to disappoint itself. It hasn't been in the game long enough to make a decision on whether or not this weapon is or isn't right for Battlefield 4 and whether it is actually worth using. Now, on the second assault maps and versus the other second assault weapons, the M60 and the AS-Val, I have won out a lot of engagements, but I've also lost a lot of engagements to that stupid AS-Val, man. That thing just chews through people. And on a side note, the transport helicopter doesn't actually count towards your time in helicopters on the AS-Val assignment, which was disappointing because we played a 35-minute game of Conquest Large just sitting in the transpo chopper waiting to get our AS-Val, and then at the end of the game, oh surprise, you added no time to your actual helicopter time. So to bring this video to a gentle close, the F2000 is being judged way too early, I think. We need to make our final decision on it later. It is fantastic for short and medium range engagements, great at hip fire, and I think that overall, right now, it is one of the stronger assault rifles in Battlefield 4. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. It would mean a whole lot to me. Also, go ahead and post in the comments box what weapon you want me to do a review on, but please make sure that I haven't done a review on it already, as I'm not crazy about revisits. So as always, thanks for watching. I'm LevelUp here at OnPointTactical. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the battlefield.